NCE is a place where anybody can come, anybody in the community from all over Davidson County or surrounding counties. They can come and get quality classes, beneficial information at a really good cost.
What is strength-based parenting?
Strengths-based parenting is a class to help parents and anybody that's working with kids help to identify children's intrinsic strengths and talents.
Okay. Now that's interesting. I'm a parent. I'm gonna have a 2-year-old.
Okay.
So take me through an exercise. What's one thing you would tell someone to get them started with helping them find that skill within their child?
The first thing I would do is encourage the parent or the care provider or any adult that works with children to identify a child's strengths. What do they really like to do? What are they drawn or attracted to?
Okay.
And from there, I would encourage them to enhance that strength.
Okay, yeah, he loves to tell me what to do. And too. So good. And it's interesting because when I go to his school and they say, well, he's not listening so well, I say, we are developing a president here. So let's just work with what he does have, which is that he loves to talk and he loves to lead. And so I want to help him develop that. So you're telling me I'm doing the right thing,
Absolutely.
at least in part. So that's good.
Absolutely. The talking is a strength. He's a communicator.
Yes.
And he's effective with communication.
Yes.
So if individuals are aware of that, they can allow students to do opportunities or have opportunities or activities that promote that communication piece.
Okay, good. And so they learned this in this session,
Yes.
how to really tap in and not think about it as a weakness, because I remember looking at all of my report cards as a young person, and all of them say she's really great, but she just talks so much. So of course, when I had a child, I realized that I probably passed that over to him, but I wonder if they had tapped into that a little bit more. Of course, as a communicator, I don't have a problem sharing messages, but I wonder what else I could have done even as a young person with that.
Absolutely. If your teacher had been knowledgeable about the strengths and knowledgeable about what you do effectively, she could have utilized you in different roles in the classroom. She could have allowed you to be a facilitator.
Okay.
She could have allowed you to be a group leader.
Okay.
She could have allowed you to run errands, to communicate with other people in the school.
Sure.
So just being able to utilize those strengths in a positive way.
And how have you seen the parenting, or again, the caregiver who has tapped into those skills, how have you found that turns the young person into a successful adult or young adult? What are some of the things that you've discovered?
Well, it builds the child's confidence. It builds their self-esteem. It allows them to focus on what they're good at and not at their weaknesses. And a lot of times we sometimes focus on weaknesses instead of strengths. So if we could captivate those strengths and enhance them, they will become better individuals in life.
Absolutely, that's good. Now let's shift a little bit to talk about leadership. So you're also teaching that, which seems like they go hand in hand in some ways, because you're teaching young people to lead in the way in which their voice allows them to, whether that physically be their voice or be what they're strong at doing, writing or creative or arts, things like that. So in the leadership class, what is that about? Tell me a little bit more about that.
We are all leaders. And in the Empowering Leader class, you learn that you're a leader, and you learn the specific strengths of being a leader, the characteristics and the traits of leadership.
Oh, good. Give me one. What is a characteristic of a strong leader that we can all maybe look at leaders that we have in our lives and pinpoint and say they have that?
I would say the most important thing is building relationships. In order for you to lead as a leader, everything rises and falls on leadership. But in order to get people within organizations or within personal relationships, you have to build that with them.
Sure.
So I would say relationship building is key.
Okay, good. What is something that someone can do prior to coming to the session to make sure that they are in the right mindset to be prepared to think about what they're strong at versus, I think all of our lives we're taught to focus on those weaknesses, as you mentioned. What do I need to do before I come just to make sure I'm in the right mindset?
I would say first would be to make a list of some things that you'd like to take away from the class. Once you do that, identify possibly some strengths that you have as a leader and then some strengths that you don't possess. And then from there, based on the personality types, the traits, and the characteristics of leadership, we can move forward and develop an action plan to make you become an effective leader.
Very good. What can we take away? I think we've already talked a little bit about that, but what can people take away from both of the classes? Let's start with the strengths-based parenting class. What is someone going to take away that they can continue to work on at home with their young person that is going to be impactful for them?
In the strengths-based class, there are 38 themes and there are 38 different strengths. So being introduced to all of those strengths and then being able to identify which strength your child has. And I also offer recommendations based on the book Strengths Parenting. Offer recommendations from the book and activities that parents can do in order to identify as well as enhance the strengths of a child. Once you participate in the leadership class, you will identify the leadership characteristics and traits of being an effective leader. From there, you can merge the two based on your strengths and weaknesses. You can develop action plans using SMART goals and then develop a timeline to enhance what you'd like to see in the future.
Great. Wonderful. So if you want more information about classes just like this one, go to nashville.gov/CE. That's nashville.gov/CE for Nashville Community Education.